चैलेंजेस तो बहुत देखे हैं, पर शायद मेरा सबसे टफ चैलेंज कोविड। मेरे साथ मेरी टीम खड़ी थी, फैमिली, दोस्त, फैंस। एक सिंपल सी चीज, उनका फोन कॉल। मैं आइसोलेटेड जरूर था, पर अकेला नहीं। आपके आसपास जो लोग स्ट्रेस, अकेलेपन और डिप्रेशन से गुजर रहे हैं, उन्हें कॉल कीजिए। बस एक फोन कॉल। और अगर उनको या फिर आपको जरूरत है एक फ्री डॉक्टर कंसल्टेशन या काउंसलिंग की, तो फिर इस नंबर पर कॉल कीजिए। आप अकेले नहीं, हम एक साथ हैं।
मुंबई में बैठ के कोलकाता से गुड़ का रसगुल्ला, आहा, यही तो जीवन।
जस्ट माई रूट्स, लालच को पंख लगाओ, किसी भी शहर से खाना मंगाओ।
The moment you start leading your team, for the media, for the critics, for the broadcasters and for the newsmakers, you are in trouble. You have to lead your team, and you go back that night to your hotel and sleep and go to bed and say, I was given a responsibility because the world believes I am good, because the selectors believe I am good, and I'll do it to the best of my ability. Nobody will be right. Nobody in this world is right. But I'll make sure that every day I finish a cricket match and I get on the bus back to the hotel, I'll speak to myself and say, whatever I've done, it's for the best of the team. And more often than not, with the ability he has, I'm sure he's going to get results.
2014 to 2022, rather January of 22. 7 long years, and we call it the Virat era. In real sense, the Virat era, V for Virat, that was the kind of impact. Good and bad, and a mixed legacy by King Kohli. The way we have gone about this tribute is we have divided his captaincy era into 5 chapters. Under Virat, this was the key element in India's cricket. Win at all cost. If you have to draw, don't play the sport. Take the draw out of the equation was the way Virat Kohli approached his cricket as captain in red ball. Clearly, it was 2 options. Obviously, win, win, win. And if you try to win and thereafter lose a match, that too is acceptable, but a draw isn't. Now you might differ with this philosophy and say, oh, you know what, you should have been more careful and drawn a match first rather than going ahead and losing, but that's not what Virat imbibed or believed in. Under him, India played this win at all cost kind of cricket, and one had to say this was a defining transformation, very much so, going with the character of Virat Kohli, passionate, aggressive, on your face kind of attitude. Give it back to the opponents, win at all cost, whatever happens.
124 for 1 South Africa in that third test. And yes, I mean, the wicket was wet, and I had a chat with Ravi about what it was. And
at any point in time, I thought, 124 for one, Hashim almost sort of creating a tent out there and batting like what way he was. What was the mindset? Because the coaching unit tells me you went to tea, and the captain actually said, and I'm quoting Ravi Shastri here, he said Virat Kohli came back for tea and said, we are winning this game.
Yeah, obviously it was difficult because we thought the wicket's gonna play very differently, and it's gonna be difficult from early on. But when again, one must not lose perspective of what is right and what is wrong. I felt that we went through that test match doing all the right things, and our intention was right throughout. We were not dishonest to the game. We were not scared at any stage. We were brave. We played the game the right way. We were moving ahead at all times, and I knew that we were the team who wanted to be out there more than the other team, and this game cannot do injustice to us. The result has to go our way because we have been honest in what we have done, and I knew that the guys also believed that we get one wicket and they're going to crumble, and that's exactly what happened. We just had to stay patient and not lose our focus, and credit to everyone. Even the bowlers felt like we can do the job. That's the only feedback that kept coming from them throughout, and the belief was very evident. Anyone who took the ball, they just wanted to make things happen for the team. But one thing in the back of my head was always there, that if we have been honest to the game in this particular game, the result will come our way. It cannot go the other way.
It was a different flavor. If you see Indian cricket over a period of time, it was definitely a different flavor. Way different from MS Dhoni overseas at least. All of a sudden it was about beat any team overseas, come what may. And that's what defined the legacy of Virat Kohli as our chapter number 1. If you take a look at India's cricket over the last 20 odd years, all of a sudden you will see a freshness with the 5 bowler theory coming in with Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri. Earlier it was almost a given that the moment India travelled to overseas shores, be it England, be it Australia, be it South Africa, it would inevitably be that you will play 7 batters. That extra cushion that you will play 7 batsmen, the 7th might be necessary to even draw a game. Virat Kohli took that out of the equation. So chapter 2 of 5 bowlers is actually linked very closely. There is a tremendous synergy between his win at all cost attitude. That's where it comes from. Play 5 bowlers, go in with the 4 fast bowlers and maybe a lone spinner. And that's how you go in for the kill. It did pay dividends on occasions. Now you might say, in the recently concluded series, did India become stereotypical there playing 5 bowlers? That's again a theory. But on occasions, the 5 bowler theory gave us some incredible wins. Think of Lords, think of Oval, think of some of the, even this particular series, the first test match in South Africa at the Centurion. All of these victories were made possible by the fact that India went in with the 5 bowler theory, 4 fast bowlers. Virat Kohli wanted to be relentless, changed the dynamic, got in Shardul Thakur, who had the batting ability, backed Rishabh Pant, backed Ashwin and Jadeja when Jadeja was available, who given his all-round prowess. And that's how redefined the way India approached red ball cricket.
The game started off brilliantly. I think the opening part was around 100. And Dada and Virubhai were going great guns, and we felt like, oh, this is our game, because those totals back in the day were very difficult to get, especially in England, against England in a final. And I thought, this is our game, this is going great. And then we were 150 for 5, and I slept off because I could not watch, I could not take the sadness, and I just went to sleep. And then my brother came after an hour and woke me up. He's like, we're winning. I thought, it's a dream. I said, what's going on? I mean, what are you talking about? He said, we're winning, come out. So we started watching late in the night, and when I saw that moment happen, it was, I think it's very difficult for people to understand, but those things are so organic and they're so pure that you just go through with it. You're not worried about judgments. You're not worried about what people are going to say about you. As he said, you cannot be a robot operating for the sake of, what people are going to write or say about you. You have to be honest towards the game, and you have to be yourself. I mean, if you're not expressive and if you're not yourself, then as he said, you'll sleep with regrets, and that's something that no one wants to do. So I'm sure that moment was very organic. He didn't care about, whether he's in the Lord's balcony. He could have been anywhere in the world, but that was just pure happiness coming through, that against the odds, the team has achieved something, and this is the way I want to express myself. And I never think that there's anything wrong with that, because that is just pure human emotion coming out.
Every time you see a wicket fall, look at the way the captain reacted. Whether it is the television cameras focusing on him and the reaction, sometimes over the top, like that, speaking into the stump mic, you might say unacceptable behavior taken, but the passion the man always wore on his sleeve was infectious. The way India conducted their game with passion and the body language, think of that Lord's Test match, all of a sudden with each wicket, the burst and bubble of energy that Virat Kohli brought to the fore defined Indian cricket, and he was that passionate himself. Whether it is standing up for his teammates, whether it is taking a scuffle on the field, whether it is arguing with the umpire, call it anything, but the passion that Virat Kohli brought to the cricket field was something incredible to see. We will miss that. Sometimes definitely he crossed the line. Like I said, he definitely did. But on most occasions, the flavor that he brought people back because of the passion. It was great to see. He created a spectacle, a drama out of the sport. A theatre was Virat Kohli, and he was the ringmaster in the ring, or he was the lead actor in that theatre by creating that drama, that spectacle, which he lorded over. And that was King Kohli's major attribute, passion. So if I'm asked to analyze the Virat era, what will stand out? Quite a few things actually will. The first and most important thing that will stand out is the victory in Australia in 2018. What was the background? The background at the start of the year was a series loss in South Africa. India came close but lost the series 2-1. That Wanderers test match was a great win, as a one-off win. Then India goes to England, another opportunity. But again we lose 4-1, and people started getting after Kohli, the captain. Yes, he was stellar with the bat. Unbelievable with the bat. 300s and all of it. What an incredible series he had as a batsman in South Africa and in England. But as captain, India fell short. And that's why King Kohli was under pressure in Australia. 71 years, India had never won a series down under. No Smith, don't want to forget all that. But to win that series against a top quality, look at England, you will know, a top quality Australian bowling attack. Hazelwood, Cummins, Stark, the Australian bowlers were all there, Dathan Lyon. And to beat Australia in Australia was a huge high point.
That aggression, and that sort of, I'll give it back, we won't hold back. That attitude has transformed Indian cricket.
Absolutely. I said yesterday, I've seen very few international captains who will have that kind of passion when they go out on the field. Yes, each one's personality can be different. Some may be quiet, some may be reserved. But this guy is in your face. And what it does is it sends a message to the opposition. It sends a message to your dressing room. As a player in the team, you want to emulate him. You want to get behind him. And it's made a lot of the players a lot more confident, the team more confident, the youngsters who come into the team pick it up straight away, and it makes a world of difference. And it's that passion and that drive that encourages the bowler to give their best all the time, and in the field, the fielders. So it plays more than one role. When you see him, with that kind of passion on the field, where he's so expressive, it makes a world of difference, let me tell you.
As a batsman, when that comes into play, that he's the best batsman in the world across formats. I mean, automatically the team feels
Think what he must be feeling. Every time he goes out to bat, the whole Australian crowd want him out first ball. But to take that kind of pressure as a captain and lead from the front, you need to have some serious marbles. You mentioned field placing, Maruna. I thought tactically we outsmarted Australia. And a lot of credit should go to his leadership in the field.
Again, under Ajinkya Rahane, India did it, but it was the same team, the Virat Kohli team. It was his mantra. It was the same gang that beat Australia again in 21. And then going back to England, where he had lost in 2018, and this time round doing it in England with so much verve, that also defines, that's another major high point. Whether India will win in Birmingham this year, we don't know, but 2-1 was phenomenal to see. That's the definite other high point as far as Virat is concerned. So what are the heartbreaks and where did Kohli go wrong? There are quite a few. Obviously, if you think in terms of achievements, India made the WTC final but lost the final. When we went into that last day, everybody thought this would be a draw, and it was a bad collapse. It will forever rankle Virat when he thinks back. India could have held on, could have been joint winners with New Zealand. That will be a bad loss that he will find hard to digest. This South Africa series, after the 1-0 lead, all of us thought this was our series to win. India played fantastic cricket in the first test match. There was no reason why India wouldn't go on and win the series. Unfortunately, India had their moments, failed to capitalize, and we lost the series. So this will be another red blot in the Virat kind of ledger book. Losing to South Africa in 18, losing to England in 18 and obviously New Zealand in New Zealand. These are other so-called failures in the Virat Kohli ledger. But I will say India came close multiple times in South Africa. He did win in Australia, he did win in England, at least led in England. But the South Africa one will rankle Kohli because that was a bit of a final frontier for him. And had he been able to conquer that final frontier, chances are he may not have given it up. From people in the know, he says he was tired and he wanted to give it up because he was fatigued and he wants to focus as batsman. As batter, India wants a Kohli because next 5 years, Virat Kohli, the batsman, is still much needed for India. So the ledger book, a mixed bag as far as Virat Kohli, the captain, is concerned.
Saurav, I celebrate you a lot in the book. You've read the chapters, and I have to take you back to the times of adversity. When you are down, there are other elements also conspiring. Talk us through that, the belief that he's talking about. I mean, the reason you are celebrated is because of that. I mean, to be able to come back, to be able to do what you did, you with the bat, and something that Virat also has done. Kamper, 2075, that innings when India is getting bundled out. Can you give me an insight into the Saurav Ganguly of 2005-06, October to next November, the toughest period according to me in your cricketing career?
It's never easy to be left out, and it's never easy to be left out in spite of scoring runs. So that was difficult because at the end of the day, when you're a cricketer or you're in any sportsman, you can control what you do with your skills. But when the selection becomes a bit beyond skills, then it becomes difficult. So you had to just wait. You had to just wait and deal with it and wait for your opportunity. So that's what when he said come to South Africa. Yes, I did get a phone call from a very dear friend. He said, you're coming back after 6-7 months. The South African attack was brilliant that time, and he said, is it the right place to go? I said, if you have to play for a long period of time, it is you have to score in tough conditions. That's when a captain will have the belief that when the going gets tough, and I was not captain, I had just finished captaincy, that when the going gets tough, XYZ is your man to stand up. You look at his transformation. England in 2013, he struggled. Australia a year back or 6 months back, 400s in 4 test matches. I've not seen any Indian batsman play so well in Australia. We've all got hundreds in Australia. Sachin has, Rahul has, VVS has, I have, but What he did in those 4 test matches was something I've not seen it for a long time. And even when I meet Sachin, I tell him the same thing. I said what I saw in the tour of Australia with Virat Kohli, and that actually transformed him. There are times in life, and every sportsman goes through, because when you are in such a platform, such a focused profession, I've been through 6-7 years. He's going through it. You will get people judging you. In every move he does, he bats first, he bowls second, he drops a catch, he picks someone. When I see it, I said, no, it's the same repeat of the story. But what is right is do what you believe. Do what you think is right for the team. The best thing someone told me when I first became captain is that the moment you start leading your team, for the media, for the critics, for the broadcasters and for the newsmakers, you are in trouble. You have to lead your team, and you go back that night to your hotel and sleep and go to bed and say, I was given a responsibility because the world believes I am good, because the selectors believe I am good, and I'll do it to the best of my ability. Nobody will be right. Nobody in this world is right. But I'll make sure that every day I finish a cricket match and I get on the bus back to the hotel, I'll speak to myself and say, whatever I've done, it's for the best of the team. And more often than not, with the ability he has, I'm sure he's going to get results.
So to sum up and conclude, all good things come to an end, all interesting things come to an end, the Virat era has. Whether we like it or we do not, we have to say this man brought a lot to the table. A lot of commitment, a lot of passion, a lot of verve. And we will remember him for those memories. The memory of India pumping their fists and fighting at Lord's. The memory of beating Australia in Australia. The memory of winning that first test in South Africa. Yes, there were bad memories also. Losing the WTC final. But that's what sport is all about. It is real, not real. And that's what Virat Kohli's captaincy tenure proves. It is all raw, very raw, human emotion at its highest.
Sachin says he was sitting in the Wankhede dressing room on his cricket coffin, and the career has ended, 24 long years over. And he says, Virat comes up to me, and he had these threads on his arm. All of us wear it, like the dhagas. And he comes and he says, my father had given these to me and said, if I see someone or if I respect someone that much, I should give them to somebody. And you are the person, and quote, Sachin says, he touched my feet and I was choked. I said, what are you doing? Tujhe yahan aana hai, yahan nahi. He embraced him. And he said to me then, if someone can do this, Indian cricket is in safe hands, ladies and gentlemen. Indian cricket is in safe hands. What makes, this story is one of respect, one of humility, one of modesty. Can you take me through that mindset? What happened?
See, I don't have too many people who are very close to me. And that is just the way life has gone for so many years. Because naturally when someone has been or stuck by me in tough times, I value that person, a lot. And I continue to do that. And the impact that he has had in my life as a cricketer growing up, I understand the importance of it. So it's very difficult to explain it. But if someone can give you inspiration like that, and you have something to work towards in your life, and you end up becoming someone, and you feel like you have done something in life, I don't think there's a greater pleasure than that. So that was just, a gesture of thank you to the guy who's inspired me to do what I am doing today. And it just came naturally. So, for me, the human connect is paramount. Incentives, gains, losses, these things don't matter to me. If someone's been honest with me, if someone's sticking by me, and they are doing the right thing, I respect them to the hilt, and that's what matters to me.
We will remember Kohli for being an emotion, who who we all love to hate at some point, or love to love at most points. That's how I will remember Virat Kohli. Virat the batsman kicks on, and that legacy and that chapter still remains, yet to be written, unfinished, because lot of accolades, lot of hundreds still to come.